getting married tomorrow to a man that is far beyond what I could ever ask for. And, you know, I'm just truly in awe because he's everything. He's everything that I have needed and wanted and asked for. And, you know, it got me thinking, you know, how there's been so many God moments. There's been so many God confirmations with Joshua and I. And it just got me thinking, you know, what if I didn't have those God confirmations, right? And what would that look like? And how did I get those God confirmations, right? And the only reason why I know that this is the man and that I ever even met him was because I chose to not waste my wait. And what I mean by that is in that waiting season, in that season of being hurt and broken and sad, I could have been taking matters into my own hands and running to the next guy or the next thing, or just going with my emotions, right? And not to say that there hasn't been moments, right, of following myself instead of God, right? Or of not listening to his promptings or doing things out of my own will and not his own. There's been those times, there has. But as a whole, I have chosen to sit in my pain and sit in my discomfort and sit home alone on Friday nights, on Saturday nights, on days of the week that I didn't have my kids, instead of going out, instead of doing things. Not because I wasn't invited, but because I knew I had to hear from God. And I knew that was the only source of my strength, my true strength, and my healing. And so during that waiting period, I decided that this was my time with God. Like, this was my time to get to know God more, to date God, to know God, to let him be my everything. And it was in those times and in those moments of solitude and in prayer and going out on runs like I just am right now, of asking God, like, show me, teach me, lead me, whatever you have for me, God. Yes, I say yes. And that was my waiting season. And it was in those times and it was in those moments that God revealed visions and dreams. And before all of this, I didn't get that. I didn't understand how people would say, well, how do you, you know, like, you got a vision from God, you got a dream from God, you got a prompting from God, he deposited that on your heart. What does that even mean, right? I didn't get it until I started spending time in his word every single day, in quiet time, in prayer, in meditation, in worship every single day, in worship. Like, my runs have become my worship time, have become my prayer time, have become my time with the Lord, my quietness, where I can say, God, just move and speak into me and show me what you have for me. And that's where I've gotten direction. That's where I've gotten healing. That's where I've gotten words from him. That's where I've gotten things that I can cling to. And those things, he even showed me where I was going to meet my husband, what that was going to look like. He gave me certain words. He gave me visions of things that I would be doing and things that me and my husband would be doing. And if I did not worship during my wait, and instead I walked away and I decided to waste that waiting time, I wouldn't know. I wouldn't have peace. I probably wouldn't have even met Josh, truthfully. And I wouldn't even know what to look for. I would literally be like, well, this feels right. And, well, I love him, right? And that's kind of how my last marriage went. It was like, well, this feels right. I knew the Lord back then, but I didn't know him like I do today. And I didn't spend time with him, and I didn't seek him for my life, for my guidance, for my marriage, for everything. I didn't do that. But today, I'm just calling you to action. Do not waste your wait. You may be in a season where you thought it would be over by now. And you've prayed and you've prayed and you're like, God, gosh, I thought this would be done. I thought this would be over. Why am I doing this again? Why am I going through this again? Why is this still happening, right? And I'm just saying, don't waste your wait. Those are the times when God is saying, I know you want this to be over. I know that this is unfair. But guess what? God doesn't promise to take those things away, but he does promise to guide you and shepherd you and walk you through it and give you strength to do that. And so, I mean, truthfully, a lot of the struggles, a lot of the stuff that I was going through a year ago, 2 years ago, like, it's still happening today. Like, I want you guys to know that. Like, the things happening behind the scenes that y'all don't know about, they're still going on. They are still active in my life. But here's the thing. That doesn't have power. That does not have to have power over my life, over my time with God, over the promises. He can still give me promises and still make my dreams and his dreams, I can't even say they're my dreams because these things are not my dreams. They're definitely of him, happen amongst it. So instead of sitting in that pain, instead of sitting in that waiting season of being like, ugh, this stinks, why am I not out? Why am I, and then running to the next bar, or the next guy, or the next relationship, like, just stop. Stop wasting your waiting season. Use it as a time to worship and walk with the Lord. Do not walk away from the wait. It is there for a reason. And it is in those times when I have been laying on my floor, crying my eyes out, and even falling asleep on my floor, where God has deposited the most beautiful visions and dreams and hopes. And I didn't know when they would come to pass. There's still things that he's given me that I don't know when they will come to pass. But I know that if it is from him, then he will see it through. As long as I keep saying yes to him and I keep spending that time with him. So I just want to encourage you today, if you are in a waiting season, if you are like, gosh, I thought I'd be married by now. I thought I'd have a relationship right now. Or maybe I'm in this relationship and I don't know. I'm not really sure about it. And it's this and that. And guys, listen. You will know if you spend time with God. You will know who that right person is. And you will quit wasting your time and energy in all these other relationships. You will quit wasting all of your emotions, all of your just everything. You won't have it anymore. You won't waste that time because you have decided that God's going to show me. And when I know, God will tell me. He will tell me who that person is, right? And that's when you walk. And that's when you move. You don't walk away in the waiting season. You worship in it. And you walk with the Lord in it. And then, when God has given you those confirmations and those dreams and you see them happening, you can say, wow, this is worth waiting for. This was so worth waiting for. Because he has shown me now. And I can have peace in this, and I can have joy in this, no matter what else is happening in life. So, if you are in the waiting season, no matter what it is, I want to encourage you to not give up, to not lose hope, maybe God has given you visions, and you're like, I don't know when that's happening. Don't give up. He will see it through, but maybe you just need to dial back in. Maybe you've walked away. Maybe you need to dial back in and start worshiping again. Start spending time with him. Start walking with the Lord. Start being quiet and still before him so that he can speak and you can hear. So I don't know who this is for today. I just know that it was so heavy on my heart to share with you. And my journey has not been pretty. There's been a lot of ugly stuff happening. But Guys, my journey with the Lord has been beautiful. And my journey with Joshua has far exceeded my dreams. And that is a gift from the Lord. But I had to wait. I had to sit in my pain. I had to listen to God. I had to walk with him in that season. And then not falter. If I messed up, if I, started to walk in my feelings, I had to come back. God was like, reeling you back in, Aim. Come on, let's go. Let's go. This is not what I have for you, right? So I'm not saying you're not going to have mistakes along the way. I'm not saying you're not going to make some, shouldn't have done that, right? You are human, but reel back in, right? God will reel you back in, and then you got to listen and go, 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 because he has you. He has so much in store for you. Do not lose hope, and do not waste your waiting season.